Later in this episode... But first...
Hey everybody, it's Molly with AllEars, and I'm here today with a brand new video. Now, Disney Genie has just rolled out, so I'm doing another Genie experiment, but this time I'm not paying for anything. Today is all about free Genie. This is that customizable itinerary and planner, and I'm gonna do everything the Genie says. What attractions, where to eat, what shows to see, it's all up to the Genie to help you decide if this is a useful tool and how to best take advantage of this tool when you're in Walt Disney World. I hope you're ready, I hope you're excited. Let's get to it. The way that the free Genie works is that you are able to select things that you would like to do within the Walt Disney World parks, and the Genie will come up with an itinerary for you based on your selections, based on crowds, based on weights, and it will constantly update throughout the day like a navigation app to help you have your best Disney day. The way it was pitched is that if you knew nothing about the park, you could come in and have a great day thanks to the advice of the Genie. Today I'm pretending I don't know anything, and I'm just going to listen to whatever the Genie has to say. I'll also be hopping a little bit later to Magic Kingdom, so I inputted that into the Genie this morning. So when you want to use the Genie, you can, the easiest way is either to summon him off the My Disney Experience homepage or go to the hamburger menu and click My Genie Day. You will then be able to set up your day by selecting your experiences, entertainment, dining, and interests that you'd like to do in the park that day, and then the Genie will get to work coming up with an itinerary that's perfect for you. Again, it will constantly update throughout the day like a navigation app like Google Maps or Waze. If you're driving and there's a wreck, it's going to tell you to go somewhere else. Genie's going to do that too. If there's a crowd, if an attraction temporarily closes, it's going to reroute you somewhere else. In your My Day section, you will see any pre-existing dining reservations if you've made any. If you are paying for Genie Plus or the fancy rides, TM Lightning Lanes, those will show up in your My Day. But for us, again, we're just doing everything free. So the first thing the Genie's telling me to do today is Kilimanjaro Safaris. It's got a 20-minute wait, and you can always click the why this, and it will say, parties like yours are fans of this experience. Animals have minds of their own. Every expedition is unique and unforgettable. Sometimes that little why this will be like, it's an air conditioning. And people are like, good enough for me. Kilimanjaro Safaris is definitely one of my favorite attractions in the park. It's one that I selected when I was creating my day. It is the flagship attraction of this park. It's that 20+ minute safari out on the wildlife reserve where you'll see real animals like elephants and giraffes and lions and zebras and hippos and rhinoceroses, etc. So it's a great attraction I definitely recommend doing. It's one I recommend doing first thing when you rope drop because the animals are more active then. But we're also going to be clocking the wait today. Genie said this is 20 minutes, so we're going to start a timer and see if that's true.
Go Genie!
Really lovely safari, good lion action. They were sleeping, but you could see them well. Good cheetah action, lots of elephants, baby giraffe. It was great. Friendly reminder that attraction is long. It's without any interruptions, like over 20 minutes, and there were some giraffes. There was a giraffic jam. And so then it was like 10 minutes extra. So just keep that in mind. It's a long attraction. Use the restroom before you go. Posted 20 minutes. It ended up being between 16, 17 minutes. There was a little backup at load. I think they were loading wheelchair party, so I stood at load for like 4 minutes. But that was great. And good recommendation from the Genie to head to Safari at that time. Now we have a little issue though. It is 11:22 and the Genie is suggesting I ride Expedition Everest at 12:15. And even if I refresh it to be like, hey Genie, I could do it now, it's still saying 12:15. So what you should do is go look at the tip board, and I would say, oh look, there's an 11:30 Festival of the Lion King, go see that. Or I would say, just go to Everest right now, it's only a 20-minute wait. Or I would say, go ride Dinosaur, it's only a 10-minute wait. Or walk on the animal trails. But I am not the Genie today. The Genie's not telling me to do anything for almost 55 minutes. So guess I'll do nothing for 55 minutes. I'm obviously not going to do nothing. I'm going to get coffee and go enjoy it. But this is where the Genie, I feel like you still need some park savvy to know you shouldn't wait an hour to go ride Everest if that's the next thing you want to do. You should go ride it now while it still has a 20-minute wait. Or you should go enjoy the animal trails or something else. Like, fill in with your own fun if the Genie's not giving you enough fun. Target acquired. So we're gonna go to my coffee spot and enjoy some coffee for a little bit, maybe do a scooch of shopping. I'm not expecting the Genie to give me something to do every moment of every day. Like, if you only have 20 minutes in between attractions, I don't expect it to give you anything, but I am a little surprised it's not giving me anything for an hour. Like, I was looking when I was getting off the safari at 11:15 and it still wasn't giving me anything before 12:15 at Everest. You'd think it would refresh and say, 11:30 or 11:45 Everest, but it didn't. So again, I would tell you to go ride Everest right now because it only is supposed to 20-minute wait, or see Festival of the Lion King, or do some shopping, get a snack. But we're just going to enjoy some coffee for a little bit. So Genie's in charge today, not me. Whoa! Wildlife. Oh, he's sad. He's like all mangy. He's probably a baby. Sweet little nugget. Hopefully we'll see some characters while we're standing here at my favorite spot. So this is my favorite coffee spot. It's the pathway directly across from Creature Comforts, which is the Starbucks here. You get this incredible view of the Tree of Life, and it's right on the water, so the character boats will come by, and it's just lovely. After everything I do today, I'm going to let you know if I think the Genie gave good advice or bad advice. And I think the Genie sending me to Kilimanjaro Safaris with a 20-minute wait in the morning was good advice.
Go Genie!
I would advise you to get here even earlier and rope drop safari, but that was a good decision by the Genie. The not telling me to do anything for almost an hour and wait for 12:15 Everest, bad advice.
Bad Genie.
The Genie should absolutely give me a recommendation to fill almost an hour of time, especially when Everest only had a 20-minute wait right then. Dinosaur had a 10-minute wait. There was a Festival of the Lion King in about 15 minutes. The animal trail was right there. There are so many things the Genie could have directed me to fill the time. Finally, time to head over to Expedition Everest. Now, I'm not mad that I had a coffee and I saw Chip and Dale and Goofy and Pocahontas. I did a magic shot with one of the PhotoPass photographers on the trail. So it was a nice break. I'm just saying that felt like a time when the Genie should have sent me to do something else and capitalized on low waits. But now it is time to head to Expedition Everest. Looking at the wait times, it looks like there's a 15-minute wait at Everest, which is perfect. It's already back down to 10 minutes over at Safari. Flight of Passage is 65. Dinosaur's 10. Tough to Be a Bug is 10. Cali River Rapids is 10. Navi River Journey's 50. So based on this, I really don't know if Animal Kingdom is going to be the best use of a Genie Plus purchase. I feel as though you can get everything you want to do here done without much waiting on most days. Of course, not counting like Christmas and the really, really busy seasons. And if you really don't want to wait in the line at Flight of Passage, that's an individual fancy ride TM, and you could buy it. So I have a DAC experiment lined up to see how efficiently I can get all of the Genie Pluses. But to me, unless you're buying it for the day because you're hopping into Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, I don't know if you need to buy it for your Animal Kingdom day most of the time. What's interesting about Expedition Everest is that this is one of the fancy rides. This is a pay-per attraction. You could pay $7 to ride Expedition Everest without a wait, but it's a 15-minute line. Please don't buy Expedition Everest unless it's like Christmas. I'm telling you, it will not have that long of a wait. If it does have a long wait, it will drop. And even if everything has a really long wait, if this is a long wait, Flight of Passage is going to have a crazy long wait. So spend your money on Flight of Passage, or Rise of the Resistance, or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, but not here. This line certainly moves fast, and it's really interesting once you get into the museum in here. There's this giant Yeti footprint. There's lots to look at this queue. This attraction is so detailed. I absolutely adore it. But now we're already working our way out to the loading dock, and it's only been about 6 minutes since I got in line. Good news and I've got bad news. The good news is it took me less than 9 minutes to board that train, so the 15-minute wait was a little bit higher. Wait times tend to fluctuate 5 to 10 minutes, so the wait time was fairly accurate, a little high, and so that was a great recommendation by the Genie for me to ride at that time. The bad news is it started pouring, and I didn't know it until I got seated in the train and I looked out, and there was lots of rain coming down. So when I tell you I ripped my hat and my rain jacket out of my bag and put it on faster than Iron Man tapping his suit in Infinity War when he first sees Squidward, by the time I was going up the mountain, I was fully in my rain ensemble. So yeah, now it's raining. But that was a good recommendation by the Genie.
Go Genie!
It's also basically not raining anymore, it's just misting at this point, but I do wonder if they're going to even do kite tails in 25 minutes. I think it will have to do with the wind, but I can imagine it'd be very hard to hold on to those kites if it's raining. So we will see what happens. I'm curious to see if the Genie changes its recommendation if the show doesn't happen. At this point, there's about half an hour to the next kite tail show. Just note the Genie was telling me to come to kite tails at 1:05, but the show is actually at 1:15. So the Genie's giving you a little bit of time to like sit down and get settled. But I talked to some cast members who said the last 2 shows have been canceled for wind, and there's a strong chance that this one will get canceled as well. So I wonder if the Genie's going to tell me if it gets canceled, or if I'm just going to waste 30 minutes and then it gets canceled in the app and the Genie didn't even tell me that. We're going to find out together, but for now I'm just going to stand here at Kite Tails. I do appreciate that the Genie is telling me to go to Kite Tails, though, because that means the Genie appreciates art. Yes, I selected it as one of my top picks in the entertainment category, but the Genie knows that Kite Tails is where it's at. But maybe not today, apparently. Update. I took my rain jacket off because it wasn't really raining anymore, and then it started pouring again. So now I'm hiding under a tree like an animal, because there's not really anywhere covered around here. And my assumption of Kite Tails getting canceled is getting stronger. But I want to see if it cancels it in the app. That's my question right now.
We apologize for any inconvenience. Please consult the My Disney Experience app for the next show of Disney Kite Tails.
Update. It is not raining anymore, which is great. But unfortunately, Kite Tails has been officially canceled because of the wind. And it would be very hard to hold on to those kites in the wind, so I get it. But what I don't get is why Genie is still telling me to go see Kite Tails, even though it's been officially canceled and announced over the loudspeakers at the theater, and all the cast members have gotten the official confirmation that the show has been canceled. But if you look at the Genie, it's still saying the next Kite Tails is at 1:15. It was canceled over 10 minutes ago. And I even added Dinosaur to my top picks to see if it would route me to Dinosaur, because that's what I would do. Dinosaur's right over here. It's mere steps away. It's inside in case it starts raining again. And it only has a posted 10-minute wait. But even if I click the swaps, it's telling me to do the Discovery Island Trails, which are kind of far. Triceratops Spin, which doesn't match really anything I like in this park. I told it a lot of thrill rides, so maybe not the best option. Maharaja Jungle Trek, that's okay, the animal trail in Asia. It's Tough to Be a Bug. Okay, I guess. And Gorilla Falls, backtracking to Africa. So these are all good filler attractions and definitely things I would consider filler attractions. So it's not a bad recommendation, but it's not the best recommendation when Dinosaur is right over here and in my top picks. I will rate the Genie suggesting the 115 Kite Tails as a good recommendation, as I had put it in my top picks for the day, and timing wise it would have been just right for me to get a snack or use the restroom and then go see it after Everest.
Go Genie!
But not canceling Kite Tails or taking it off my day when it was canceled is bad.
Bad Genie.
It's bad Genie. So now I am going to swap it for one of the other things. But again, none of them are what I would tell you to swap it for right now. I've played around with the swaps for a while, picking different things and then clicking what the swap recommendation would be to see if I could like get it to tell me Dinosaur. At one point it said the Boneyard and I thought we were getting closer, and then it went back and it didn't say Dinosaur. But no matter what I selected, it's Tough to Be a Bug, one of the animal trails, the Boneyard, Tinga Tinga, the musician in Africa. It pretty much every time suggested at least one, if not all three of the animal trails and Triceratops Spin. Maybe something else along the way, one of those other things I said, but the animal trails are definitely something they're going to be pushing you to. And I think that's great. I love the animal trails. I think they're a really fun filler. I think they're very underrated, but I can't tell you that that's the best recommendation for right now when one of my top pick attractions is steps away and a 10-minute posted wait. And I know that, but if you were new and didn't come to the park all the time or hadn't done a lot of research, you probably wouldn't know that. That's why my gut is that Genie is good and Genie is smart, but you still need to have park savvy, you still need to have park knowledge, you still need to use the tip board function in conjunction with the My Disney Day. But I'm settled upon the Discovery Island trails. I'm gonna go look at some animals before I go to lunch. As you know, I already went on the Discovery Island trails earlier today because that's where I had my coffee. So I'm gonna take this path right next to them, which is called the Tree of Life Gardens. But it's all the same pretty much. It's just a nice weaving trail around the Tree of Life. And I do really like it and enjoy it. And I think people should get closer to the Tree of Life and appreciate its beauty, whether that be through one of the trails or going in the It's Tough to Be a Bug queue. You can get some great photo ops on these trails. But just gotta say, Genie is smart because he's a machine. But he's not always smart in the same way that a human is that has preferences. I feel like most people would prefer to be on an attraction if they can with a short wait than walking through a garden that they could do later when the attractions maybe have longer lines or they've done everything on their list. You can't deny that this view is absolutely stunning. And again, I do recommend it. I just don't think this was a good recommendation for now. Especially because the Genie knows I'm park hopping a little bit. I don't have much time at Animal Kingdom. And so if you were only spending a half day at Animal Kingdom, I would tell you to prioritize the attractions you want to do. And I've spent a lot of time doing nothing today. Don't get me wrong, I love doing nothing in the parks. It's nice to take a breather. It's nice to relax. But if you're here on vacation and you only get one half day in Animal Kingdom, what do you want to spend that time doing? I see a lemur. Oh my gosh, this bird is so close to me. I'm sorry, sir. There's a lemur over there too. Hi, lemur. You're so cute. All right, we're leaving. So I'm scared of the bird. I even politely tried to shoo it and it wouldn't leave because it's bold. Something interesting just happened where I tried to swap the Discovery Island and it won't give me anything else. And I think that's because it's too close to my next thing, which is it's recommending I do a Satuli Canteen order for $155, which is in about 25 minutes. So I think it's telling me I don't have time to do something else. But I'm going to go ahead and click order food. I do wish that it would give me the eat now option, and I'm sure if I went into the dining tip board I could get it to do that, but again, we're following the Genie today. But there's not time for me to do anything else, so I'm curious to see if it gives me the eat now or still gives me a window 25 minutes from now. It gave me a window. Let's see if that is the earliest window for Satu'li Canteen. If you go to the dining room tip board, which is up here at the top of the tip board, you can go to the dining tip board, which I actually love. I think it's a really great feature. There's actually a window that's 4 minutes from now. So always check this if you want to eat sooner than the Genie says, because the Genie's locked into whatever time it is suggesting, but you can always go look at the dining tip board to see other times available, other locations available. This is great service. It shows that there's walk-up availability at the Tusker House. There's also a reservation available at the Tusker House, so I really like this dining tip board, but we're listening to the Genie. We're going to order now. Oh, he did update. He updated to 8 minutes from now. One thing I do like is that on the My Day, I can check my order status right here for Satu'li Canteen. I can't click I'm here yet because I've got a few minutes, but I'm walking that way. But I do like that they're putting that right on the front of your My Day. Making my way into Pandora, the world of Avatar, to pick up my lunch at Satu'li Canteen. I selected, when I was doing the My Picks this morning, I selected Satu'li Canteen as the restaurant I wanted to eat at, so I'm glad it's what they gave me. Otherwise, and even if you select something, you can swap your dining recommendations the same way you could swap your attraction recommendations. If it suggests something that you don't want to eat, you can always swap there. And I definitely recommend using that dining tip board to your advantage as well when looking at the big plan. Satu'li Canteen, if you're not familiar though, is the quick service restaurant here in Pandora. It features different bowls, customizable, where you can select a protein, a base, and a sauce and mix and match. They also have the legendary cheeseburger pods and some other delicious options. So this is a great choice if you're a little more adventurous, want something a little more unique than your standard theme park fare. Quincy and I did a video where we ate everything in Pandora, so we ate literally everything off this menu we can link for you, but it is one of my favorite quick service restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. My delicious lunch is here. This is the kids meal cheeseburger pod. You get one cheeseburger pod, and then you get your choice of chips or cuties. You get to pick two sides. I picked one of each, but it's my lucky day because they are out of cuties. So I got apple slices, which I actually like more. And then it comes with a drink, so I always get the little baby water bottle. Always ask for a side of the herb dressing. If you're getting the cheeseburger pod, it will make it perfection. And this is why I like kids meals. Like, that's a perfect portion for me, especially knowing I'm going to eat again in a little bit at Magic Kingdom. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it. They're my favorite, and I haven't had one in a few weeks. And they're always delicious to me. I have finished my delicious cheeseburger pod kids meal, and I am getting one last recommendation here at Animal Kingdom from the Genie. Genie is telling me it will not give up. It will not let me leave until I go to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. So I will go to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. I have no problem with that. What I think is a little interesting is that I had set up the park hopping to park up to Magic Kingdom at 3. And when you set up the park hopping, you first select which park you'd like to go to. Then you can toggle what time you'd like to be at the next park. So I selected 3 to 7 at the Magic Kingdom. And it's suggesting I go do something at Animal Kingdom at 2:30. There's no way I can go do anything at Animal Kingdom at 2:30 and be at Magic Kingdom at 3. So keep that in mind when you're park hopping. It's going to give you a little time to get over there, but not as much as you actually need to get the bus or the monorail or the Skyliner or your car and get all the way to Magic Kingdom. That's going to take a while. So I've seen the Genie also recommend things that are even longer. Like the other day it was recommending I go see Country Bear Jamboree before hopping for my Rise the Resistance group. I don't have time for that, Genie. So I love the park hopping feature. I love that that's built in, but just keep in mind, Genie may not give you enough time to get over there. So still plan ahead and give yourself plenty of time to park hop. The Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail is, again, one of my favorite low-key underrated things are these walking trails. Hello! This one has gorillas, of course, okapis, zebras, meerkats, and it's a great way to fill up some time at Animal Kingdom and just kind of do something more relaxing. Kids love it because they can kind of stretch their legs a little bit. And I always am a big fan of, like, you're at the Animal Kingdom, go look at some animals. But the Genie really wanted me to go look at some animals. So I am. I can see the okapis. 2 okapis. I love them. Look at that hippo. Pretty good shot of him. He's just out and about eating a little snackage. I think for most people the highlight of this trail are the gorillas. They've got a whole family of gorillas here, including babies. Hi! Oh my gosh, they're so cute. This one is just thinking about life though. He's me after watching Squid Games, just thinking about everything. Oh my goodness. And then eventually you get to the big boy section. Look at that guy. Look at him just hanging out. He's a big boy. So out here are the males. There's 3 of them. Whereas inside are the females, the adolescent males, and the babies. But they're all a big family, which is really cool. And I do love the trails. I'll say it again. I mean, how awesome is that? There's a huge gorilla sitting right there. But I also want to point out, looking at the tip board, right around 2:30, which is when the genie told me to come over here. Swap it over to Animal Kingdom. Dinosaur still had a 10-minute wait. Everest had a 10-minute wait. Safaris had a 10-minute wait. Flight of Passage only has a 40-minute wait. It's tough to be above Cali. So I'm not surprised it didn't send me to a 40-minute wait for Flight of Passage, because I didn't even click that as one of my top picks. But I'm still a little surprised that the genie is, one, insisting on sending me somewhere when I should be traveling to Magic Kingdom already, and 2, that he's not sending me somewhere that I've picked as one of my top things. I don't think the genie's going to recommend you do the same thing twice. So since it already recommended, and I did, Everest and Safaris, I don't think it's going to recommend those again, but I'm a little confused why I didn't recommend Dinosaur. All right, I have completed the trail. I swapped my fuel rods, and now I'm headed out of the park a little bit before 3 to go over to Magic Kingdom. So far, first half of the day using free Genie, there's things I like and things I don't like. I like when it gave me a good recommendation to go to Safari first. I didn't like that it wouldn't fill in the gap between Safari and Everest with anything. And I really didn't like that it didn't update and tell me to go somewhere else when Kite Tails was canceled. So you still definitely have to be very park savvy. You still definitely have to know to utilize the tip board, to be aware when things are possibly going to close. If it looks like rain and wind, Kite Tails will probably get closed. So I also didn't love that it kept sending me to the animal trails, which normally would be fine, but one of my top picks was steps away and had a 10-minute wait, so Genie should have sent me there, in my opinion. That's where I would have sent me. So anyway, we're gonna go see how it works at Magic Kingdom now. Headed to the bus to get to Magic Kingdom. Of course I could drive, but we all know parking at the TTC isn't the most convenient and easy thing to do. I also feel like most guests probably don't drive when they come to the parks. They use the Disney Resort transportation, so I'm going to use it as well to show you how that process works. But there is transportation between all of the parks. Animal Kingdom, you can only get here by bus, so there's buses to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Magic Kingdom from here, as well as all the Disney resorts, of course. There aren't any buses to Disney Springs anymore, though, however, directly from the parks. You have to go to a resort to go to Disney Springs. Of course, you could use the Skyliner to get between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, as well as a boat. And you can use the monorail to get between Magic Kingdom and Epcot if you are using Disney transportation. Look at the timing. I walked up and a Mickey and Minnie 50th bus was waiting. Hello! So, what great timing on my part. Normally they run about every 15-20 minutes or so. Short bus ride over to Magic Kingdom. And I am here taking a look at the tip board first, just to see what the waits are like. Let's see. There is a 30-minute wait at Big Thunder, a 60-minute wait at Haunted Mansion, 45 at Pirates, 35 at Space, 35 at Buzz Lightyear, 25 at Dumbo, 65 at Jungle Cruise, and let's see about Peter Pan. That's the other big one. 75 at Peter Pan, so it's definitely not busy. Thank you. Okay, we've made it in. Now let's see what Genie wants us to do. All right, it looks like Genie wants me to hang out here and watch the Dapper Dan's next set, and then continue to hang out here to watch the Mickey Celebration Cavalcade. I should note that the Cavalcade is one I selected as a top pick. I did not select the Dans, it's just suggesting I might like them, and I do. Then it's suggesting Big Thunder Mountain, Haunted Mansion, Magic Carpets of Aladdin, I did not select that, and then Eating at Casey's Corner. And I put a restriction on my park hopping time till about 7. So it's got me going right up until 7 for fun. Of course, you can make it later. The fireworks are at 8, so you could extend out that much and put in the fireworks. This isn't a bad recommendation list so far, so let's see how it goes. When you are selecting which park you want to park hop to, you do get to pick your selections for your top picks of that park as well, just like you did with the first one. So you can select different attractions, dining, and shows as things that you would like to do. And the Genie will figure out how many you can do along with those other recommendations in the amount of time that you're at the second park. And yes, you can do more than one park. On Genie launch day, I did 3 parks and I had them all set up in my Genie day. The Princess Rainy Day Cavalcade came by. The Rainy Day Cavalcade is a rainy day version of the cavalcades, as it might suggest. So they use the Main Street vehicles as opposed to the big parade floats so that the characters don't get wet. This isn't when it like rains, but it's kind of misting right now. So that was nice. So far this Dan's recommendation is really relaxing and enjoyable, and while I'm loving it, I don't know if it's the best recommendation for everyone, but I'm definitely not mad at this recommendation. Listen, I'm not mad about sitting on a bench on Main Street waiting for the Dapper Dans to come to the top of the train station, but I'm just saying, if I only had a half a day in the Magic Kingdom, this is maybe not the best use of your time as much as I love the Dans. I'm just surprised at any point that it's sending me to things that aren't my top picks if it doesn't have to. Like, I appreciate recommendations, but I also have top picks that don't have that long of lines right now. So, listen, I'll sit here and watch the Dapper Dans all day.
And it's entitled, I Call My Girlfriend Hinges Because She's Something to Adore.
Yep. More of a closer there, John. Yeah, and then after that lovely number, we're going to go with one of my favorites. It's a beautiful classic titled, She Once Dated a Man with a Wooden Leg, but later broke it off.
Guys, thank you so much. Those are wonderful songs. I think you said no one ever.
The bells of St. Mary's, I hear they are calling. The young loves, the true love to come from the sea.
This is my actual face the whole time the Dapper Dans are singing. I take back ever doubting that the Genie wanted me to watch the Dapper Dans. That was a perfect recommendation. Is there anything better than walking into Main Street USA and hearing the Dapper Dans? I'd argue no. That said, if you're a rides person, you've got a lot of rides on your list, maybe you want to skip the Dapper Dans, but I like that the Genie made me do this today, and I'm happy that the Dapper Dans are one of the recommendations it pushes on people.
Go Genie!
More people should appreciate the Dapper Dans. I'm scooting my way down Main Street a little bit, so when it recommends the cavalcades, know that they start on the Frontierland side, so you can go anywhere you want to watch them. They go from Frontierland through Liberty Square and then down Main Street, just like parades did, but keep in mind that if you're on Main Street and it says it's going to be here at 3:55, it actually is probably going to be here about 5 or 10 minutes after that, because it has to get down the street. And this goes back to when I was in guest relations. We legitimately were asked frequently, what time is the 3 o'clock parade? Which makes you want to laugh. But you also have to keep in mind, people mean, what time is it going to be where I want to sit? So it's got to work its whole way this way. So you've got a few minutes if you want to watch it on Main Street. Ooh, bonus fun. The Philharmonic is marching down this way. Is the genie me in the Magic Kingdom just wanting to sit on Main Street and watch the entertainment? Magical place on earth, answer the call. They learned the new song and it's so magical and wonderful. All right, anyway, we're gonna kind of get up a little closer to the castle to wait for Mickey now. For some reason, it was the rainy day cavalcade of Mickey too, even though it's not raining anywhere, but entertainment must have a radar somewhere that says it could have started raining in the middle of that. But I also got to see Tinkerbell. So in the span of walking into this park about 40 minutes ago, I've seen the Dapper Dans, Princess Cavalcade, the Philharmonic, the Mickey Cavalcade, and I saw the Tinkerbell Cavalcade. So I like that Genie just made me sit on Main Street and I got to see all that stuff personally.
Go Genie!
If you're not into entertainment, I would say swap those things or don't select entertainment as some of your top picks. But I love entertainment, I love characters, and I got to see a bunch of them. Now my next Genie recommendation is for 4:40, which is in about half an hour, to go ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It currently has a posted 30-minute wait, so I think most people would probably just go over there now, but that's not the point of the day. The point of the day is to listen to the Genie as close as possible. So we got 30 minutes to kill, which means basically anytime Genie gives me a break of more than like 20 minutes, I'm gonna go buy a coffee, it seems. But I still have about 25 minutes before it wants me to ride Big Thunder, so I'm just gonna enjoy this delicious coffee and slowly walk over that way. This is so leisurely and relaxing. While I'm at it, I will address the question a lot of you are asking about Genie, and it's, am I on my phone a lot more than before the Genie? I would say no, not really, but let me explain. I was always on my phone a lot. I always was using my Disney experience to the fullest extent. I was always constantly checking the wait times. I was always constantly booking more fast passes, fiddle-faddling, etc. So for me, it doesn't feel that much different. But if you weren't using my Disney experience to that extent, if you weren't constantly looking at the wait times or maximizing how many fast passes you could get, then it may seem like you're on your phone a little bit more. I also want to remind you, you don't have to listen to the Genie. You can do whatever you want. You could use the wait time boards around the park instead of the tip board on your phone. You don't have to buy Genie Plus. You can still do whatever you'd like. It's just a resource for you to be able to do as much as you'd like. And for me, I think, as someone who knows the parks really well, for me, the most helpful part of this is the tip board, for sure. If Genie's not gonna give me coffee breaks, I'll give my own coffee breaks. I'm mostly joking about the Genie not giving me coffee breaks. I think it would be nice if it gave suggestions of what to do if there's like an hour or less, because I don't think it's gonna put in another attraction or a meal there because it knows you don't have that much time. But I think it'd be nice if it was like, hey, you've got an hour, here's some things you could do, and it suggests like some walk-up snack counters or some nearby merchandise shops or grab a coffee or a beer. Like the My Day itineraries, I think, are mostly intended to help people that aren't as familiar with the parks, and so I think things like that would be more helpful for that demographic. Like if you had no idea what to do, you would just kind of walk around for an hour, but if it said, hey, there's another cavalcade coming by soon, you might want to watch that, or you know, you're near this cool store, or hey, have you considered going to walk through this exhibit at Epcot? Things like that I think would be helpful. Time to head to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. One thing I did notice interesting on the app is that when it's actually time, it changes from low, average, or high. Right here for the wait time predictor, it says current wait, and then if you look at like Haunted Mansion, which is the next thing, it says forecasted wait average. So that is interesting. Another thing I find interesting is looking at the tip board, it's been 30 minutes for the past 30 minutes. So I don't know why. I guess one thing I don't love about Free Genie is that it doesn't move things up. Like I could have ridden Big Thunder 30 minutes ago and been done with it and had time to do more things. So while I'm not mad that I had time to enjoy a coffee, I just feel like it should say, hey, you could go now if you want to. You don't have to, but you could. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, what a delightful attraction that is. It's that runaway train coaster, and it always makes me laugh, especially when I slide across my car. It's got a 40-inch height requirement and one of the best, most fun attractions here, in my opinion. It had a 30-minute wait when I walked in. It dropped to 25 shortly after I got in, and it actually took about 20. So the wait times have been pretty accurate. Disney always overshoots them just a little bit. That's not a new thing. That's been the case since at least I was in attractions over a decade ago, because wait times can fluctuate based on how fast the people are walking, and they'd rather it be a little over so you're not mad. But there is a little bit of fluctuation, which is why technically it's approximately this wait. So Big Thunder, gotta love it. That was a good recommendation. Check plus from the Genie on that one.
Go Genie!
I just don't understand why he didn't send me there earlier, but thumbs up to that recommendation. My next attraction is in about 20 minutes. It's Haunted Mansion. It currently has a 50-minute wait, and it doesn't look like it's going to go down that much soon, so I don't know why Genie thinks I want to wait 50 minutes. Also, no, I do not have DAS. There's a glitch, and it keeps popping up on my screen, even though I do not have DAS. That's where DAS would be, though, if you do use the Disability Access Service. Anyway, Genie wants me to go ride Haunted Mansion in 20 minutes, so I shall. I hope it drops lower than 50, though. That seems like a very long time. The good news, it's time to ride the Haunted Mansion. The bad news, there's still a 50-minute wait. So, here we go. Let's get in this wait here and time it. I have started a timer. I also want to take a look at what the swaps are. Pirates with 35 minutes. Liberty Square Riverboat, Hall of Presidents, Enchanted Tiki Room, and Country Bears. Why would it still send me to Haunted Mansion with a 50-minute wait when it could send me to Pirates with a 35-minute wait when both of these were top picks for me? Also taking a look at the tip board to see if anything else I selected had a low wait. Oh good, Haunted Mansion's up to 70. 70. Great. Those are both things on my preferred list that have a significantly shorter, less than half of the current wait of Haunted Mansion. And yet, let's see if he's refreshed. No, it's still a good time to go.
Bad Genie!
How is this a good time to go to Haunted Mansion? Clearly I'm not going to get to all of my selections that I had. So why would you tell me to go to the one with the longest wait? Like, I understand I only put a few hours in Magic Kingdom. There's no way I'm going to get through Pirates and Thunder and Space and Mansion at this time of day on a busy day. But why would you literally send me to the longest? I'm going to tell you right now, this is a bad move on the Genie's part. There is no chance if I was just walking up to this line and I didn't have Genie Plus that I would get in a 70-minute line for Haunted Mansion. I love the Haunted Mansion as much as the next person, but in the mornings, this has barely a line, and in the evening, when the park's about to close, this will have barely a line. This is ridiculous that the Genie suggested this, honestly. Don't let the Genie do this to you, okay? Go to the 35-minute pirate line. The 35-minute pirate line, half of this. Genie, what? What are you doing, Genie? It has been 17 minutes and I'm officially entering the queue. It's also starting to spit a little bit, so I had to put my hat back on. If there's one thing I love more than waiting, it's waiting in the rain. And if there's one thing I love more than waiting in the rain, it's waiting in the rain, knowing that both the other attractions on my list that have lower wait times than this are indoors with indoor queues. Now that we're in here, we're moving a little bit faster. I'm curious to see if it'll be a full 70 minutes. We still have to go through the extended queue, But it's, again, already been 20 minutes. We are looking at 26 minutes and in the extended queue. My favorite part is the beginning with these busts here because they're actually a murder mystery that if you read the plaques, you can figure out who did the murder. There's also lots of things that you can touch to make noises, and there are headstones, which I love because these are nods to different Imagineers that worked on this attraction, like Mark Davis. He loved chess, which is why there's chess references in attractions like this in Pirates of the Caribbean. He was also known for his sense of humor, so anything funny, sight gags, like most of the second half of this ride, done by Mark Davis. This is for Xavier Atencio. He wrote the Ghost Host script as well as the lyrics to Grim Grinning Ghosts and Yo-Ho Yo-Ho Pirate's Life for Me. He had never written a song before, but Walt said, "You have a way with words, I want you to write these songs for me." And lo and behold, he wrote some of the most famous songs of all time. The good news, it only took 35 minutes to get to this stretch room. The bad news, the Genie didn't know that. The Genie still thinks it's 65 minutes. So I still don't know what the Genie was thinking, so I'm still gonna give it a bad recommendation, but it was good in execution, if that makes sense. I understand I wasn't gonna get through all of my top picks in just a few hours in the Magic Kingdom, but it makes no sense to me why the Genie would send me here and not Pirates, which had a posted 35-minute wait, or even Space, which had a 25-minute wait. I understand Space is a far walk, but it seems really drastic to me for the Genie to recommend something with a 70-minute wait when there were other options of my top picks. So bad Genie.
Bad
That's
Genie.
why I say, make sure you're looking at the tip board, make sure you're making your decisions as well, and if I was actually using the Genie, I would have swapped it in the app to Pirates probably. At this point, there's like 30 more minutes of time on my clock because I told Genie I was gonna park hop from 3 to 7. So it's 6:30 right now, and the Genie is sending me over to Magic Carpets of Aladdin, which was not in my top picks, but it only is a 15-minute wait. The swap-aroos that it gave me were Dumbo, Mad Tea Party, Tiki Room, Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, and I actually think Carpets was the best of the choices because it also knows I want to eat at Casey's Corner, and everything else, the Carousel, that was another one. Everything else was really far away. So the Genie was taking into account physical locations of things at this point, I believe. Now I want to point out there's no way to set your park hours unless you're hopping, which is an edit I hope they make. As it is now, it's just like park open and park close if you only fill out one park, and then it adjusts as you go about your day. But there's no way to be like, I'm gonna leave the Magic Kingdom at 3, which I think there should be. So the workaround at this point is I would just tell the Genie you're park hopping at 3, so that way it crams more things you want to do in at 3, if that makes sense. In before 3, I should say. It has been 17 minutes since I got in line, and I'm now walking to my carpet. So pretty accurate on a posted 15-minute wait. Just as a friendly reminder, the front goes up and down, the back tilts forward and back. The camel spit me, and I got wet. Look at my arm. Look at this. How dare you? I forgot that. It is pretty up here. I mean, I'm literally furious that camel got me wet. I forgot it could do that. But I didn't. But I will say that was a good recommendation from the Genie because it was a short, pretty accurate wait. And it's on my way to where I'm going next. If I was in the park, I would have just skipped that. It's a fine attraction, especially if you've got little ones that like that style of attraction. But I would rather have just ordered food earlier. However, I did order my delicious dinner from Casey's Corner. That's where the Genie told me to eat dinner. With pleasure, Genie. And I'm gonna go get it right now. Overall, at this point, we're headed to the last thing on my recommendations because, again, I put a time limit on my day. You could go all the way through park close, and you can include fireworks, and you can include more attractions, and the Genie will keep offering you things. But I thought 8 hours of footage would be enough to overwhelm my editor and also get a good feel for what the Genie is like. So at this point, I like a lot of things about this free Genie. I like that it gave me some very good recommendations, like first thing at Kilimanjaro Safaris. It knew when to send me over to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Wait, I'm gonna start. I like that it sent me to Safaris first thing. That's a great recommendation. I liked that it recommended I stop and watch the Dapper Dans when I first got into the park in Magic Kingdom. I liked that I happened to see a bunch of other cavalcades while waiting for the Mickey one on Main Street. I liked that it updated my window for Satu'li Canteen when I started looking earlier. It gave me an earlier window. And I like the swap feature, even if I don't always like what the swap options are. My biggest issues with it are, one, that it doesn't fill the dead time. An hour at Animal Kingdom, I could have done so much more. It should have put an animal trail there, as opposed to just saying, or pushed me to Everest faster, or said, hey, Everest is predicted to be low for the next hour, go whenever you want in that time. And then once you go, it could give you another recommendation. So I feel like they tried to balance how many things it's actually telling you so it's not micromanaging your day too much. But I think if you're the kind of person that's gonna find this a useful tool, you need and want your day micromanaged. So I hope they add a few more features like that. I also did not love that it sent me to a 70-minute mansion line, and I understand it was less than that, but the Genie doesn't know that. That was Noodle having a Bones Day today that gave me a half as long of a line at Haunted Mansion. That was just good karma. The Genie still thought he was sending me to a 65, 70-minute mansion line, and it makes no sense to me when there was a much shorter line at other top attractions of mine. I also don't understand why the Genie wasn't pushing me to top attractions and instead pushing me to recommendations when my top attractions had little to no wait sometimes. So I think the system's good. I think there's definitely some things that need to be fixed, and I think it needs to get a little bit smarter, but I think it will. Here they are in all their glory, Dinner of Champions, the corn dog nuggets. Now Casey's Corner has a lot of different hot dogs. It's got chili cheese fries, foot-long hot dogs, but the classic, the piece de resistance, is the corn dog nuggets. You gotta upgrade for your $1 plastic cheese sauce. Y'all know I don't even like hot dogs, but I love these things. Well, friends, that is a wrap on my free Genie video. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you learned how this system works, how it can benefit you, and some of the gaps in the system that you're still gonna need to prepare and plan for yourself. Like I said, I think that this is a helpful tool, but you're gonna need to couple it with your own knowledge that you get from watching our videos, reading our posts, doing your own research of Walt Disney World, and really, really use that tip board feature. Let me know what other Genie experiments you want down in the comments. We've got lots of different races. We've got how many can you get experiments coming soon. So let us know what ideas you have down in the comments, what questions you have down in the comments. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media at AllEars.net. Until next time, I'm Molly, and it's been magical. I'm just gonna eat cheese now. Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.